Good morning. We're going to do a little yoga practice, little puppy yoga. And so go ahead and start seated and make sure that you're comfortable. And we'll start with our alternate nostril breathing. So go ahead and take your index and your middle finger and tuck it in. And close the right nostril with the thumb. Breathing in through the left. Close the left and breathe out the right. And then breathing in the right. Closing and breathing out the left. And just keeping this breath pattern going for a while. And on the next time you exhale out the right nostril, go ahead and bring the hand down to the knee. And inhale through both nostrils. And long, slow exhale. And then gradually bringing the chin down towards the chest. And slowly blinking the eyes open. And just taking a moment to set an intention for your practice. And gradually lifting the gaze. And from here, taking the hands to heart center. Inhale, bring the arms up overhead. Exhale, bend the elbows, bringing the hands behind the head, getting a stretch here. And see if you can take a breath here, thinking of the entire rib cage lifting a little bit. And arms coming up overhead and taking the hands out towards the sides. And from here, go ahead and tip the ear towards the right shoulder. And head comes back to center, tipping towards the left. To center from here, taking the arms back up overhead. And exhale, hands coming down. Good. And doing a little side stretch here, placing the right hand down, reach the left arm up, and exhale, reaching over, stretching the side body. And then other side, placing the hand down, reaching up. Exhale, opening the right side. Back to center, coming down. Good. And now taking the legs out. And coming into a straddled stretch. So inhale, lengthen, like there's a string pulling the crown of your head. And then exhale, leaning in, coming forward. Just taking some breaths here. And slowly coming back up. And now from here, turning and facing the right knee. So rotating slightly and then walking it down. Gradually coming back up and then turning and facing the left knee and slowly coming down. So level the shoulders a little bit. Ouch. And slowly come back up. That's the new way to practice. Can we stay focused while we're being bit by a puppy? Lengthen, and one more time, come down in the middle. And slowly coming back up. And from here, we'll make our way onto hands and knees. And remember to bring your hands a little bit out in front of your shoulders just to take care of your wrists, so there's not so much of a bend there. And from here, doing a little cat-cow. So exhale, rounding the back in cat. Inhale, lengthen in cow. Exhale, rounding in cat. And again, lengthening in cow. Coming back to the center, and we'll do our threading the needle. So go ahead and take one arm out towards the side, and then we're going to thread through, bringing the side of your head and your shoulder down. Here, Ellie, go get it. Slowly coming up, and then doing the other side. Taking the arm out, and threading through, placing the shoulder and the side of the head down. Okay. Go on. Ouch. And then coming back up. Here, go get this. And then we're coming into downward facing dog. So tucking the toes under. And for your first one, go ahead and lift about halfway. Right? And see if you can press long and strong through the arms. And then start to slowly extend through the legs. Okay, Ellie. I'm gonna remove my helper here. And from here, making your way into plank. Tuck the tailbone slightly. And notice the arrangement of your shoulder blades. So kind of play with that just a little bit. Where do you feel the strength? Where do you feel the weaknesses? What needs to change? And then from here, lowering down onto the abdomen. And hugging the elbows into the side body. Inhale, lifting up. Taking some breaths in your cobra, and again, adjust the shoulder blades. Let them slide down and back slightly. And then lowering back down. And tuck the chin, resting the forehead on the mat if that's comfortable, or you can use your forearms. Gradually lifting the head and slowly pressing up and going into a little bit more of an up dog or just a deeper cobra. tuck the tailbone. So squeeze your glutes, engage your abdominal muscles slightly so that you're not pinching your low back. Lowering back down. And from here we'll press up through table and then sit back into child's pose. And maybe getting a shoulder stretch this time with your child's pose, so pressing the hands down, extending the arms, keep breathing. And coming back into our table, tucking the toes, lifting back into down dog. Through and make our way up into our lunge. So coming up and finding yourself in a warrior one here. So 90-degree bend in the knee. Go ahead and interlace the fingers and see if you can lengthen again. That same idea of thinking of the entire rib cage lifting up a little bit. Hands coming down through heart center, and we'll do a little twist here. So remember, you always have options, so modify your practice to work for to meet you where you are today. So you can place the hand, right, and come into your twist, or you can come down and place the elbow, or you can place the hand. And slowly twisting out, hands coming down, stepping back to your down dog. Bending the knee, bringing it all the way up and through, and coming up into your warrior one on this side. Interlace the hands, fingers, lengthen and lift. We're finding space without collapsing into the low back, right? So find where are you supported here? And then hands coming down, and then going into that twist. So remember, you can place the hands here. Got lots of different variations. The elbow can come to the knee, or the hand can come all the way down. And twisting out, hands come down one more time, stepping back into down dog. Step the right foot up and then the left. Inhale, come half high. And exhale, come into your forward fold. You might want to nod the head a little bit, right? Releasing tension in the neck. And remember, it's fine to bend the knees a little bit too, especially as we go into that reverse swan dive. So finding that line of energy from your heels to your sit bones and sweeping the arms out and up, coming into Tadasana, mountain. Hands to heart center. Shift your weight a little bit from side to side. And making sure that you're noticing how do you distribute the weight through your feet. And then arms coming up overhead. Interlace the fingers. And on the exhale, reach to the right, pressing down through the left foot. And back to center, and then other side. Grounding through that foot. So remember, if anything pinches in your back too, to bend the knees here. Back to center, arms coming down. And let's work on balance a little bit. So shifting the weight to the left side. And when you're ready, go ahead and rotate, externally rotate through the hip. And you can place the foot on the lower leg. You can skip over the knee and go up a little bit higher. And then hands will start at heart center. Make sure you're breathing. So kind of start with your foot, move the awareness all the way up. So again, where can you find support? What do you need to stabilize? And then growing your tree. Coming down first, stepping down, and again stabilize in mountain first, shifting the weight side to side, and finding your focal point, so finding a place that you can keep your eyes focused on. Begin to shift, externally rotate the other side, and then place that foot above or below the knee. With hands at heart center, and again work your way from your foot all the way up, engaging different muscles, maybe shifting weight a little bit. Connect with breath, and then arms can come overhead. Coming down and stepping down. Nice. So after that stillness, let's do a little bit of movement. So step the feet a little bit wider than hips width, and we'll lift opposite heel in our happy elephant. So our arms are going to come out, and we're going to swing our arms back and forth. It's one of my favorites. And just see if you can just let go of control of the arms. So just let them kind of bounce back and forth. A little bit of this tapping. And just start to slow it down, letting it run out of momentum, stepping the feet in, and take a moment after that. Just check in. Notice how you're feeling. Maybe revisit the intention that you set at the beginning of your practice. Opening the eyes, hands coming together. On the inhale, open the palms towards the heart. Backs of the hands come together. On the exhale, extend the arms. Inhale back up. And exhale. Let's do that one again. So bringing in what you need on that inhale. Exhale, letting go of what you don't need. And then inhaling back up. Filling up your heart so that you can give or help others. It's the kind of idea behind our open and close our book there. All right, let's go ahead and do a Warrior 2 and Triangle series. Stepping the feet out. Puppy sees herself in the mirror. So from here, doing our Warrior 2, bending that knee 90 degrees or less, right? We just don't want to go past that. If you feel all the weight sitting in your knee, that's too far. Depending on what's comfortable for your hip, you can adjust that back foot, right? If you turn it this way and then try to, that can be too much for the knee. And so find what your body is needing today. Arms coming out to T. Good, taking some nice deep breaths here. So give yourself the time in some of the postures to notice some of your holding patterns. So I just noticed that my shoulders were up. And so trying to relax the shoulders a little bit without sinking into the back. So sometimes I'll even turn my palms up and bend my elbows slightly. And then re-stabilize through the core. From here, go ahead and bring the elbow down to the knee. Reach that top arm up, ground through the edge of that back foot. Keep your pelvic floor lifted and your core engaged, and then reach this arm over. So finding that long line of energy from the fingertips all the way down to the edge of that back foot. Take that top arm back up towards the ceiling and see if you can extend that bottom arm out in front. So, right, forcing us to not sink into our supports. From here, go ahead and come up. Arms coming back out, straighten this front leg, and we'll go into a triangle here. So lengthen or reach. And then coming into Trikonasana. And since we're trying to use as little props as possible right now, keep everything nice and clean, I like to hold on to my shin here. You always have the option of putting your hand here, just making sure you don't push your knee backwards, right? Turning that gaze up towards the ceiling, if that's okay for your neck. Bending that knee, coming back up. And now we'll just switch and do the other side. So turning the feet, bending that front knee to 90 degrees or less. And again, take your time to notice, do you need to adjust the placement of the feet? What do the hip joints and knees feel like? And then start to engage, reaching the arms out. Taking some breaths here. So again, notice if your shoulders are high or if your jaw is clenched, what can you do to make those adjustments? And slowly bringing that elbow down to the knee, reaching that top arm up, and then reaching over and finding that line of energy from the edge of that back foot up to the fingertips. Take the top arm back up towards the ceiling. Make sure you're really engaging your core and take that bottom arm out in front. Good, slowly coming up. Arms coming back out, straighten that front leg and reach and tip into triangle. Bending the knee, making our way back up. Good. From here, turn the foot forward and go ahead and come down into a straddle stretch. So you decide what's best for you lifting out of this. So sometimes I'll heel toe the feet in and get my foundation underneath. And other times just really being aware and mindful about engaging inner thighs, core, pelvic floor, and slowly making your way back up. Good, heel toe the feet in. And from here, coming back into Tadasana, our mountain pose. Let's go ahead and go into our little staff of Brahman here. So inhale, arms come overhead. Exhale, come down into chair. Inhale, back up. Exhale, half high. Inhale, sweep the arms open. And exhale, dive the rest of the way down. And then reverse swan dive back up. And one more time. Exhale, chair. Inhale, back up. Remember, on this half high, you can bend the knees a little bit. Make sure you're supporting your back. Sweeping the arms out and diving back down, forward fold. And returning back to Tadasana, mountain. Good. All right, one more balancing pose. So let's go ahead and work with eagle today. So a little bit of rotation or twisting here. So go ahead and bend the one knee. We're going to end up crossing this leg over and this arm over, so it's opposites, right? So open the arms and go ahead and soften the other knee. So like we just did in chair, so find where you feel stable. And then go ahead and wrap this leg around, and you can tuck your toes behind if you can do that. I cannot. Or you can put your toes down like a little kickstand if that helps, right? So again, play with it. And now crossing the opposite arm on top, right? And same thing with arms. Like if that doesn't work for you, you can come here. Sinking down a little bit more. Use your peripheral vision. Look around your hands. Keep breathing. Unwind the arms and the legs. Back to Tadasana. Good. Notice how you feel after that. So it's kind of a warming pose. You might get a little rush of warmth. And so other side. So bending the other knee, arms coming out, softening, so coming down into kind of a chair, and then wrapping this leg around. And again, you can put your kickstand down if you like. I like to sink down a little bit further once I wrap my legs. And then again, opposite arm coming across. So you may even like play with it of bringing the elbows up or bringing them in and rounding. So what stretch feels good across your upper back today? From here, we're going to go ahead and come down to seated. And work a little bit with our buzzing bee breath. So it's the one where we make kind of a humming sound, or it can be a little bit deeper, so it's the noise, right, with your mouth closed. We're going to do this twice. So we'll take a breath in and buzz, and then do it one more time. I like to close my eyes and my ears when I do this, so it takes me just a little bit further inward and I pay more attention to that vibration. So you want to put your thumbs on this piece of cartilage to close the ears, and then the fingers just gently lay over the eyes. So we'll do this 2 times. Here we go. That time to notice how you feel. It's a good one for me to settle my thoughts. My mind is racing racing and very busy, that's a good one for me to do, to let all of that settle down so that we don't get too involved in all of the stories. So from here, let's go ahead and do Gomukhasana. So we're kind of wrapping again like we just did with Eagle. So go ahead and take one leg on top, right? And again, everybody's at different places. So this might be more like a crisscross. Or you might be stacking your knees. So if you're comfortable, my hips are not, stacking those knees, you can. Engage the feet a little bit. Right. And so notice if you're really tipping to one side, then maybe ease off or put some support under the grounded side so that you can level the pelvis a little bit. So. And then for the arms, we're going to take opposite arm up, bend that elbow, and then reach with the other hand. Some of you might be able to grab your fingers. I'm a long ways from that. And just let those elbows pull back a little bit. Keep breathing here. If it feels comfortable to lean forward, you can lean in a little bit. So really notice the breath. If the breath starts to catch a little bit, that's kind of a signal that maybe you're not so comfortable there. So ease up a little bit, take a few breaths, and then maybe your body will let you go there. Slowly releasing the arms. And then you can cross the other leg on top, or I'll teach you a little trick that's kind of fun. It's called the spin out. And so if I keep my feet down and I spin around, my other leg will come underneath. Fancy. So, and you can see that my hip on this side does not like to stack. So again, modify, adjust to where you are with it today. Flexing the feet. And then opposite arm coming up, folding back, reaching with the other hand. Drawing those elbows back if that's comfortable. And perhaps leaning in. Releasing the arms, releasing the legs out in front, and we'll do one seated forward fold here. So make sure you're up on the sit bones. Arms come up overhead, and on the exhale, folding forward. And so again, make those modifications. If this is too much for the back of the legs, bend the knees. Coming up, and we'll make our way onto our backs here. So rolling it down. Start with knees bent. And taking the arms out to T. Go ahead and just rock the knees a little bit from side to side. That tailbone tucked under a little bit so you're massaging some of the muscles, the low back, glutes. And then from here, go ahead and draw the right knee in towards the chest. So interlace the fingers around the knee. If that's too much pressure on your knee, put it behind. Squeezing in. And go ahead and straighten that left leg and just let it hover an inch over the mat. Flexing the foot so you're pressing through the heel of that left leg. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, let the left leg come down and maybe deepening that stretch in the right hip. And now extending that right leg up towards the ceiling. So you can hold onto the leg and pull forward a little bit if you like that stretch. Or you can also grab the toes. Good, and slowly bending this knee, returning the foot to the mat. And then drawing that left knee up, interlace the fingers, drawing that knee in towards the chest, straighten the right leg and let it hover an inch over the mat. And a nice deep breath in, and as you exhale, let that right leg come down and soften. So letting that head of the femur kind of sink down into the hip socket, getting a stretch here. Extend the leg up towards the ceiling and flexing that foot. And returning this foot to the mat. And now take the right ankle and cross it over that left knee. And now draw the left knee up, reaching through. Interlace the fingers on the back of that left leg into our figure 4 stretch here. Taking some breaths here, noticing areas that might be tight. Returning that foot to the mat, uncross, and now cross the left ankle over the right knee, drawing the right knee up, interlace the fingers. Connecting with breath. Releasing this side. And so now we'll go into a twist. So we'll go ahead and lift the hips an inch off the mat, shift them 6 inches to the right, so shifting everything over, and now let the knees fall to the left. So you take some of that arching out of the back. Arms extended or elbows bent. You kind of decide what gives you more of an opening across the pectoral muscles and the shoulders. And turning that head in the opposite direction of the knees. And if you're trying to do something, see if you can remove that. Less efforting. Re-engage muscles, slowly bringing the knees back up. Shifting the pelvis back to neutral, taking a breath here. And then lifting the pelvis, making sure you're not arching the back, right? Keep the abs engaged. Shift over to the other side. And now let the knees fall to the right. Turning the head to the left. Again, you decide, do you want the arm extended? Do you like the elbow bent? Find a position that's comfortable. And then try not to do anything, just breathe and be. Bringing the knees back up, shifting back to neutral, and arms coming down alongside the body, and we'll go into a bridge here. So make sure the feet aren't too close because then the knees will jet forward. But if you come up and you feel like you don't have much support, right, you might want to change the placement of the feet. When you're ready, we're tucking the tailbone under to start, so kind of coming into a little cat stretch in that low back, and then slowly picking up vertebra by vertebra, and then you'll start to find that point in which you switch to extension, so lengthening now, and pressing down a little bit through the arms, squeezing the glutes, inner thighs engaged. If you like, you can interlace the fingers, so tuck one shoulder blade under and then the other, coming into a little bit deeper back bend. Tucking the chin towards the chest, so long in the back of the neck. Releasing the arms, untuck the shoulder blades, and then vertebra by vertebra, slowly lowering back down. And then draw both knees up into the chest, hugging the knees in, maybe rocking side to side. We'll come into bug, so taking the arms and legs straight up towards the ceiling. So if you would rather do shoulder stand, that's an option as well. And then again, just like we did in our twist, see how little effort you can use and keep your arms and legs up. So maybe let the elbows soften and the fingers curl in, maybe the knees bend a little bit. Bending the knees, bringing the feet down, arms down. If you're at home and you have an ottoman or a couch that you want to rest your legs on, or you could always turn and put your legs up against the wall, if that's comfortable for you too, you can stay in that position for relaxation. Otherwise, coming into our earth pose or shavasana, and making sure that you're comfortable. It's hard to relax if you're uncomfortable, so from here, go ahead and just start the awareness at the crown of the head and releasing any tension through the muscles of the forehead. Notice where your head is resting. So where's the weight in the back of the head? And letting the eyes sink into the sockets, softening the eyes. Releasing any tension in the jaw, softening the muscles of the neck, relaxing into the pit of the throat, releasing across the shoulders, all the way down the arms, out the tips of the fingers, letting your arms just be heavy, noticing the weight of the bones, upper back softening, letting go of gripping across the chest. So bring a spacious quality to the heart center. And really notice sensations there. Releasing the mid-back, the solar plexus, softening through the abdomen and the low back. Noticing how the abdomen is feeling. What's going on? Is there gripping? Notice the weight of the pelvis. And deeply releasing tension all the way down the legs and out the bottoms of the feet. Noticing the heaviness of the bones of the legs. And now being aware of the rise and fall of breath. Allowing the breath to be deep and smooth. And noticing the thoughts that come up with detached awareness. So observe. When a thought arises, and just let it dissipate without adding to the story. And for the next few minutes, just resting. Body is still, breath is moving. And resting with your soul, not your story. Gradually return the awareness, deepening the inhalation and lengthening the exhalation. And gradually inviting some movement back into the fingers and into the toes. Perhaps rotating wrists and ankles. Reaching the arms up overhead and stretching from fingers to toes. Gradually making your way onto one side. Just resting here for a moment. Slowly pressing up to seated. Hands coming to heart center. And may there be peace in your body, peace in your mind, peace in your heart, and peace in your life. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with me. Now we have a calm puppy. Ellie says namaste.